Hello and welcome back to the colony with ManOfTheAntz, and we are playing a little bit more No Man's Sky today. I just wanted to do a little bit more before I jumped in with Andy and Indy tomorrow. I also wanted to try out some of the performance options that people had suggested online. So I will say first of all that Hello Games have released 3 patches, I believe, and I'm recording this on Sunday, so it's been out for 4 days, and they have released 3 patches that I've seen being installed through Steam. So you really can't fault them. Should these things have been picked up beforehand? Possibly, but it is also very hard to do as much testing as you can do once a game's been released. So there is only so much you can do, I guess. But yeah, so fair play to them. That is pretty impressive. So in terms of the options, so there is a recommendation to edit the VR settings file. Don't know why that's coming up as something I need to be right next to. And changing a bunch of options, which I did try but had a few issues. So what basically, there is a file in your settings. The file is called, and you can Google this to find out exactly where it is. It's called tkgraphicsettings.vr.mxml. That's all one word, apart from where the dots are, obviously. And you can edit that file, and they say that you should change the resolution, height, and width, so it's 640x480. Which is debatable whether that does anything. Disabling VSync, disabling motion blur, and disabling vignette and scan lines, which is one option. Setting the max frame rate to 90 or whatever your headset is set to, and then then setting the number of high threads the cores that your CPU has available, and then in-game disabling TAA. So yes, and also in-game, if we go up to here. I've left mine all on enhanced, but there is a recommendation to have, let me just quickly check, standard, and then planet quality on standard. That is what the recommended sort of thing to make it work is. This was all after the initial release, and not based on any of the patches. So as you can see, I left mine all on enhanced, and it seems to be running quite well. So I've put my anisotropic filtering up to 16. I've put my anti-alias in. Don't know how you want to pronounce that word. There are 1,000 different ways. Up on FXAA. People say that TAA is pretty broken in the game and not to use it. So I've moved on to FXAA, which is why I think we've got some of these quite jaggedy lines up here and there. But we'll live with it. And then in the video options, you can see that I've disabled VSync. I've also disabled VSync in the NVIDIA settings, which you should be able to do in your AMD settings as well if you have that. Disabled motion blur and disabled the vignette and scan lines options as well. As you can see, my resolution I've left on 1920 by 1080. And that's because if I put that down to the lowest one, and I don't think this makes any difference, it doesn't actually change what appears on your screen. But if I put that down to the lowest one... Oh, it hasn't done it now. I did think it was to do with the motion blur at one point. I had this weird thing where if I change all the settings at once, or even if I go through and change them one by one, either when I do the motion blur or when I do the resolution, I get like a massive vibration of my entire view. So it's not to do with the frame rate or drifting, it's just like everything is just vibrating slightly, and it's very disconcerting. And I thought that was to do with the resolution. I thought I'd pinged it down, but apparently not. So... Anyway, so we're going to have a little bit of a run around to prepare myself a bit more for playing with Andy and Indy, as I say. We've grabbed everything there, so we need to gather some ferrite dust. So, that's behind our shoulder, isn't it? So let's go and blow up some rocks. We can't blow up those rocks. Where are some other rocks? So I did do a little bit extra just on my own single-player game downstairs, not in VR, just to see what it was like. And yeah, I wanted to get a little bit further just because they have really changed how all the base building and everything works. It is all vastly different to how it used to be. So I did want to do a little bit more to try and get myself in a slightly better position before I join up with Andy and Indy. I don't know how the co-op works. I don't know whether you can carry on with your own missions, or whether you do the missions for whoever you're with and it doesn't affect your game, or whether what you do carries over to your game. I don't know how it works at all. I'm now trying to figure out inventory. There we go. So we want to go into the exosuit. We want to create some metal plating. Gather a dihydrogen. Well, there's some just up there. Look, that's perfect. Dihydrogen is the blue stuff. So just grab all of it, seeing as it is there. I need to construct a Starship launch fuel, which is a new thing that I never had in the game previously. But if we go into here, we can now create a Starship launch fuel, which we can then use to, guess what? fuel our launch thrusters. We also need to, we could do with doing some pulse engines. We might need to do those when we get back into space, because you can get some of that stuff from the asteroids in space. So, we need to gather some copper. I want to try and do as much as I can before we go elsewhere. Oh, I need the, there we go. I had to remember how it worked for a start. I can't see any resources around. Well, there's one. What is that? How do I know what that is? How can I tell? Buried. No, I want that. I don't want the buried technology. I want that. What is that? Copper deposit, and it's not too far, actually. Salt deposit. Can't quite get that. If we scan that, does it do it? It's just a little bit an ammonia. So let's go and get this. Oh, in fact, let's saying that. How is our... oh, we're doing okay. Let's see if we can get over there and get this. I've managed to tag the salt deposit, which I'd rather not have. There we go. So I did see a post come up on the No Man's Sky page on Steam from Hello Games, I'm assuming, talking about how the mods that have been released so far. So there are already several mods that have been available for Beyond. And there are a few things, changing things so that lush planets appear more often, blah, blah, blah. The one that I think I'd be most interested, and I haven't obviously done it yet, but is removing this blue tint when you are in the scanner mode. As I said in the last video, I think that is one of the few things in the game they've changed that I really don't like. You're already going at a tenth of your speed in that mode, so there's not really any reason to make it even more awkward or make the game look even more terrible. So I think that is one mod I will look to be installing. Because yes, I do not consider that to be an improvement by any stretch of the imagination. We won't bother with that, because we probably won't be able to do anything with it. Were my hands opening last time? I don't know. I can't remember. I am also using, the other thing in terms of performance, I am also using the newest... already scanned those. The newest Steam VR, which has some fixes for the... what do they call it? The motion reprojection? Something like that? Have we scanned that? We have. Yes, well, basically because they had some performance issues with No Man's Sky, and they believe they have fixed some of it. So that's great. So I am using the latest Steam VR beta. I think it's 1.76. And, as I'm sure you can tell, so far it was all running very smoothly. Now the newest Steam VR beta has also actually changed the headset mirror that I need to use to record No Man's Sky. Oh, by the way, this is new. This when I used to play, you used to have to just hit it with your mining laser, and it took an absolute year and a half to do any of this. So using the terrain manipulator, which I don't even know it existed when I played the game, to mine this out is so much easier and quicker. It's beautiful. It's a really nice, pleasant change. It makes the world of difference, really. Oh, didn't mean to do that, but okay. And of course, now you have the terrain manipulator, you can just go boop, boop, boop. Oh, my protection's running out, so I'm just going to run in here. And then my protection's going to regenerate. No, it's going to stay where it is. Oh, it should be regenerating. Maybe it doesn't on toxic planets. Oh, interesting. I was expecting my hazard protection to go up from there, but it hasn't. Interesting. So we need to deploy the refiner. So let's go head back towards our ship before we do that. What's There's jump. We in a storm? No, we're not in a storm. We're okay. Right, let's head towards the ship quick as we can. I would also like to find a better planet if I could as well. Wouldn't that be nice? Our life support system's going down as well. That's oxygen. So if we those red plants that used to be called like thorium, therian, something like that. I can't remember now. They're the ones who used to do your life support, the white bar down there. So I would say that it does seem to be, like, I don't know if you can see with where the health bars are, they do seem to be a bit less stable. I don't know if that's to do with the motion blur or anything like that. But the actual frame rate itself seems a lot better. It seems to be a lot more consistent. I hope that's being picked up for you guys. As I said, there's a new Steam headset mirror on screen, so it's not a like-for-like comparison, unfortunately. So it may be that that's introduced some new issue It's changed the name of the program, so I almost didn't record it. I was getting a little bit of frame rate drop there, but not much. Right, so let's head over here and let's drop down our... It's confusing because I played it today when I was on monitor, so now I'm not on monitor. I'm trying to remember all the shortcuts for this. For the build menu, the portable refiner. Pop that down just there. Use copper to create chromatic metal. Okay. So if we need to give it some fuel, so we should give it some carbon. We shall give it some... where's the copper? Lots of copper. Give it some copper. And it's going to output right grip. Yes. Do I have to click it? Just click it. It's going to output some chromatic metals. It's going to give us 116 of those, and it's going to take about 36 seconds, which isn't too bad, really, is it? In fact, it's only going to create 40. Not 116, so it's going to create that long to create 40, which I assume is enough for me to do whatever I'm doing with these. I'm not really too sure what I'm doing with these. I don't know whether it's disabling the VSync or what's going on, but I will say that the FPS and the average time to render frames is very, very firmly locked at 60 and 0.5 milliseconds respectively. I don't know how much, I don't really pay much attention to that normally, so I don't know whether that normally is all over the place. Oh, it's not doing 40, that was what we needed for the base computer. Also, it's wanting us to do the base computer, which means I don't want to be on this bloody planet. Refinement, collect chromatic metals. Well, I have collected. Oh no, because they're still in there, aren't they? I didn't actually collect them into our exosuit. And the fuel we put it in is unfortunately just lost. So that wants us to find a suitable area and deploy the base computer. But I do not want my base computer on this planet, because that's where our base will be, and I don't like this planet. So we are going to journey into the stars, and we're going to try and not suck at this. We're going to... Oop. And I can't remember what the boost was offhand. I don't want to initiate a landing. That is not what I wanted. Might have to look at the controls, remember what the boost was. Oh, not that. Nope, not pulse engine. No, not landing. Oh, I don't know then. Ah, it was the left trigger. Right, that's fine. So there should be... I think I might want to change the inversion. Yeah, I want to change the inversion for that, because that's what I would class as the wrong way. Let's pop into the menus. Options. Controls. Flight controls. It says tethered inverted, but it doesn't... That's not what I'd class as tethered inverted. So now I want to... tip it. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Right. So, what other planets are there here? Have we discovered any? We've only been to Gearfort and Izanabim. Now, Izanabim, noxious gas storms. Oh, not what I want. I want to stay in there. And Gearfort, nuclidic atmosphere. But yeah, it's gamma root, so it's another... I don't want to exit when I do that. So there are another 3 planets around here somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know where these planets are. They should be easier to find. I do actually need to go... Do I need to go to that distress beacon? Is that part of my missions? Log? No, it's just establish and construct a base. That's not part of my missions to do that. Ah, there is a new planet. I need to point the ship at it, which is actually quite awkward to do. Woo, I didn't realise I was still holding it. Oh, it's like I let go and then it just carries on holding. Like I'm not gripping it at the moment. Right, now let go. Perfect. We shall scan it. A fungal planet. Well, let's go there. Let's go there. Let's see if it's a little bit more... wish you could scan them. Like if I come out of this, I might actually need to collect a few bits while I'm here just to do some bit more fueling. Wish I could point at planets and scan these. Maybe before we go any further, maybe we should actually... see what these ones say. Verdant planet. That's a good thing, right? Verdant. That's like flowery as anything. Let's go there. Whoa. No, don't lock onto that planet. What are you doing? Oh, it's determined to do that, isn't it? What if we do pulse engines in this direction? When we get a bit closer, we'll veer off to the side. We could also scan these two moons, I suppose, just to see what they actually are. We could do with a bit more quick menu, refuel pulse engines with the bit of this tritium we just got. Look, I love being able to do that mid-flight. I was going to say midstream. That's a very different thing entirely. So right now that we're a bit closer, let's just go and scan these two moons. Fissured planet. I mean like volcanoes and stuff. And then that one, and then these are the ones we've discovered. A columned planet. I think that would look quite cool. But I do want a nice verdant planet. As I said, I started a new game in pancake mode just to get to grips with the new game system a little bit before I record with Andy and Indy, hopefully tomorrow. And the first planet was, as always, it's a horrible planet. I think it was heat, so it was very hot and stuff, and I was struggling to do much there, and it was quite frustrating, as they often are. But it takes you to another planet for the mission, which I think is what happened over there. That's why we got distress beacon there, and another planet we came off. And the planet I went to, it had some lovely weather. It did have some cold storms occasionally, but just general weather was beautiful. It wasn't hazardous. There were 12 fauna species around. There was abundant flora. It was beautiful. It had these really awesome rock formations. And I would love to have something like that in this. So hopefully I'm crossing my fingers that this will be something wonderful for us to build our base on for our VR game. We are coming in very... Oh, there we go. It has changed. So there's a little bit of slowdown there. But the FPS is still exactly the same. I guess that's because it's coming from Steam Mirror rather than from anything else. So those are oceans, aren't they? So it's islands, this place. We're entering the atmosphere. We'll slow it down a little bit and stop boosting, I guess. Some definite slowdown there, but I mean, like I say, you do tend to get that. I don't know how to... Oh, there we go. Automatically... So it's a lot of islands. Islands aren't necessarily a good thing. They're not necessarily a good thing, but it could make for a nice base. So, let's land on this rock here. And we'll build a base here, even though it's probably not a very good place to put it. Still a lot of stuttering going on, but... it has to load a lot in, I guess, when you get to a new planet, and I do have quite a lot of view distance and stuff going on, don't I? Maybe what I should do, actually, I don't know if it's going to say to me that this needs to be done, needs to be restarted to take effect, but maybe we should drop it down to the recommended options, just to see what that... Yeah, it says restart required for settings to take effect, so I'm sure some of them are taking effect, but then we get to see a little bit more what it would look like in the settings that people... suggest you use. So it doesn't seem to be immediately toxic, which is lovely. I can hear some life, which is lovely. There's some over there, look. Oh, it's close. I don't really care about the plant, I want the life. So you can see these menus here, they're jerking around quite a lot. It's not necessarily the frame rate that's doing that, there's just something... I don't know whether it's the motion smoothing or what it is. Oh, there's that there, look at that. It doesn't look very friendly, does it? Screams when upset. I don't like the sound of that too much. There's a knowledge stone over there. I said there's definitely been a little bit of frame rate drop now that we're here, but I do like this place. I do like it. I think it looks cool. I like the... Yes, life is not friendly, on the other hand, which is more of an issue. That is more of an issue. Is it going to chase us forever? Oh, it is going to chase us forever. Damn it. I was rather hoping this would be a lovely planet, and it's not a lovely planet. What do we do? I'd still like to build here. It just depends on if those things are going to be problematic, doesn't it? Nope, they're all ready. Look, nope, they've all seen me. They're all after me. Damn it. I was really hopeful. I mean, I was less hopeful when I saw that it was an island planet. Because like I say, they are a little bit... Just smash into everything. A little bit more awkward. So, let's go for the columned planet, which I think will be dead. But it could look quite cool. Was it this one? No, that's the fissured one. We could take a look at the fissured one as it's close, and that's the columned one there? No. Where's the columned one then? We've lost it. It's not that one, is it? If it's not that one. It's not the ringed one. Well, let's try the fissured one then. Maybe we'll have a nice dead base. On a nice dead planet. You can always move these things, of course. You can always build more bases and everything. We are heading straight towards something there, look. I wonder what that is. I do love just being able to look around as you're hurtling through the atmosphere. I think that's awesome. So what is that? So it is largely a dead planet, but there is this weird portal thing here. There is some copper around and some dihydrogen stuff. And that's what I was sort of waiting for. That weirdness. So let's see how nice this planet is to us. Environment warning. Fantastic. How bad? Because it's cool. It's a very cool planet. Oh, there's no environment warning. Maybe there's storms or something. But yeah, so it's actually a habitable place. And it's got these cool things everywhere. Okay, yeah, this is where we're going to build our base. This is where we're going to build our base. I want it in sight of that as well. So we're going to pop down. Maybe down on this little sort of plateau here. So this is roughly where we're going to put the build in. So we'll put the base computer like over here. Build. Base computer. Thank you. And then we'll punch it, because why wouldn't you? Register the land as your own by using the base computer. So this registers this area as our base. Searching cartographic archives. Universal Archive search reveals no prior claims on this site. Sonar test confirms site is suitable for construction. Claim. So now this is my site. This is my base with this weird portal thing over there. These incredibly odd. I don't think I've seen anything like this in No Man's Sky before. So I don't know if it's a new thing or whether I just haven't seen it before. You do have some, I don't know if this is a particular rare thing, but you do have some planets which have really rare, weird formations and stuff. And this could be one of them. Because it's very unusual and very awesome. Right, what's next? Search base computer archives with the terminal. Searching. Access and log from previous user. Entry follows. Storms sweeping across, but construction supplies low. Deposit in shelter plans while need to back soon. I'll have those plans. So here we have wooden wall parts. Look, there is no... Or is there any carbon? I don't know. Construct the base as a shelter from harsh environments. Expand your base by earning new construction blueprints. Return to your base to store and process items as you explore. There are people here, so I guess there are bases around somewhere. So this is, as you can see here, build a wooden floor. So this is where the game really starts to differ from where I was with it before. So it used to be that you would make... it's just, see how it automatically tagged that, even though I scanned in that. So yes, it used to be that... That's a plant. that you would have like prefab building parts. So when you build a base, you have like a room with a teleporter in, and I think a guy who sells you bits, and that's all there by default. It's just there, and then you build rooms, like square rooms, plop, 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 set them down in a row, corridor in between, whatever. That's a plant as well. And it was all kind of very uniform, I guess, is what I'm going for. Pure ferrite, so I probably can't mine those. Unidentified mineral. What's it I was looking for? Was it carbon? It was carbon, wasn't it? Yes. There are some weird things down there, and plants would generally have carbon, but that says... That doesn't say carbon. I'm trying... Although they've got this quite handy little sort of reticule for you to use, it isn't as nice to use as you might think. Or can I scan this? No, weirdly I can't scan that. Anyway, so we do have some carbon on us, don't we? So we don't need to worry about that at the moment. So we shall build a wooden floor. So yes, rather than putting down a prefabbed room, you now get to build it sort of however you want. And there are other materials, but obviously you start off with wood, as you can see. And so, yeah, it's looking right over there. That's what I wanted. So now we need to construct 3 walls. So I want a wall there. I want a wall there. And I want a wall there. Now I need to construct a roof. There is an incoming storm. When I built a base on my VR test game, as I got to build the roof, there was a storm incoming. So I wonder if that's intentional or whether I just got very, very lucky both times there. So there we have it. We have a shelter. That's all you need. You don't need a 4th wall. It's because this is it. You can now hide from a storm. So is the storm actually here? Not yet. It'd be nice if you could see it sweeping across the landscape, wouldn't it? It's definitely coming in now, isn't it? Clouds. I don't remember there being so many sort of distinctive clouds in the game as it used to be. What is that over there? Not going to tell me? It's trying to tag stuff over there. I don't want that stuff. I want to know what this is. Oh, it doesn't matter, I suppose. What's in fact saying that? Oh, it's gold. Oh, that's worth monies. That is worth cash monies, actually. This could be actually a really good planet for us. Let's get harvesting some of this lovely gold. I do sometimes wish that these cubes showing you where it was wouldn't hang around for quite as long. Because it does definitely detract from the visual slightly, doesn't it? But you can see, if you haven't played No Man's Sky for a while, you can see how different it is mining these resources with the terrain manipulator rather than having to use the mining laser. You can just absolutely smash through it. It doesn't seem to be doing much for my frame rate. There seems to be some quite noticeable jerkiness, and you can see some weird little artifacts appearing as well as I do it. And I do wonder, because it used to be when you mined it, because you weren't changing the land around it, it used to be that after you'd mined it, it would continue to grow back again. Or it would not necessarily continue, but it would grow back again. So I might just leave a chunk there in case you need to leave a bit behind for it to continue growing afterwards. But yes, you used to you couldn't destroy the ground. and then it would all come back again after you'd left it for a while. So if you had a base in the middle of like 15 gold deposits, you were sorted. So this radstorm does seem to be here, but it's only -1 centigrade, and there is radiation and toxicity. And is that what I think it is? These things here, I believe, or subterranean cube. I don't know what that is. But usually, it's a vortex cube. They don't do much, I don't believe, but they are worth cash money. This could actually be a really, really class planet. I'm so glad we went here rather than sticking with where we were. I doubt there's much in the way of fauna here. Where's discoveries? And where are we? Where are we? This one? No. That one, isn't it? There's only one fauna. There are two... Oh, no, that's what we discovered. There's only one flora, one fauna. So there's one animal that makes its... makes this planet its home. Probably in the caves, I'm guessing, if there's only one. Probably in the caves. Anyway, what's next? Construct a shelter. Build a wooden door frame. I didn't have to build a door frame in my non-VR game, so I wonder why that is. Build wooden door frame. Yeah, I didn't have to do that. That's why I was a little confused by that. So now we have a door. Structure entered. Breach label Zagiu. A boundary failure. Don't know what that means. But I love that view. It's another gold deposit, so I think this is going to have a lot of gold deposits on. We've got all of these things. We've got that. Oh, this is great. I couldn't be happier. I was moaning on the way here that I thought I got very lucky with my non-VR game, but this is great. Access and log from previous user. Additional archives recovered. Entry follows. Construction largely a success. Recovered salvage data from nearby plans logged. Scans indicate additional subterranean devices. And beginning search. What could that mean? Whoever recorded these logs evidently had some success. I have access to their plans and perhaps I can learn from their efforts. Perhaps. So we have learned to build a portable blueprint research device. You can expand your base by earning new construction blueprints. You can dig up buried technology to earn new blueprints. You can power your base to enable advanced technology. And you can use teleporters to instantly return your base during your travels. Oh, that all sounds very exciting, doesn't it? So we need to create a magnetized ferrite and a refiner. So did we pick up our refiner? Oh, I hope we did. Build menu. Tech. Portable. Refiner. So pop this down and next to the base computer. We need some more ferrite dust. Because we need to create some magnetized ferrite. Oh, hello. Nope. Which we'll get from these lovely things here. That's carbon. That's carbon. So this should do it. Yes, indeed. I do wonder if blowing these things up around the bases, if they don't recover, then we're destroying our views. Maybe we should do stuff that's behind the base in future. Oh, we can analyze that geode. Inventory. Exosuit. Alright, we are getting quite full of stuff, so we can analyze this. And that is going to give us some oxygen. Yay! I'm going to get rid of this junk. What's discard? Right stick. So largely serves no purpose, and as you can see, we are, as I said, I am filling up a little bit. I already had 100, or I've got 100 ferrite dust, which means I already had 60 odd. So we need to fill that up again, even though it's filled up before. Mildly annoying, but we can live with it. That's enough. I don't really want to, don't need it to be full. And then ferrite dust. Oh, that's actually pure ferrite. Which I do actually need to use, but it does want me to use... Oh, I'm getting a bit confused with the controls there. It does actually want me to use ferrite. So let's use the ferrite. Ooh, hello mic stand. Because this is going to make pure ferrite, but it wants us to make magnetized ferrite. So if we put the pure ferrite over there, now we can make magnetized ferrite. So you can do things in a row. It's not just one thing to another thing. It's a cycle of things. I don't know how far it goes. I haven't tried putting magnetized ferrite into the input to see if we can make anything else. But I'm going to. It goes back to pure ferrite. Interesting. We don't want to do that, obviously. Oh, we need more. Oh, we need more pure ferrite, even though we... so where's our magnetized pure... Are we out of ferrite? No, I think this is... So we'll go behind the base. That's pure ferrite, but needs an advanced mining laser. That's carbon. These are the things we want, aren't they? It also wants us to craft a carbon nanotube. I don't know if we've got enough on us to do that, so we probably need to break a few things. I'm going to continue heading away from the base to do that. Because again, I just don't want to... so if we go here... No, we've got nowhere near it. We're not getting much carbon from those at all, are we? There was that cave underneath. I wonder if we could use that. So I was hoping during this video to get to the point where you go to the space station. The space stations have changed quite drastically. I'm assuming they will still look basically the same, but they have changed significantly from what they were. There's just a lot more to them now. There's a lot more alien life forms there. The actual initial area where the ships land looks exactly the same. But yeah, there's a lot more. I don't want marrow-bells. No, I don't want it because it's just going to get in the way. Carbon, advanced mining laser. Damn it. Cobalt. Advanced mining laser. Cobalt. Advanced mining laser. Oh, this is frustrating. I was hoping there'd be some lovely plant life in here that I could get a lot of carbon from. So carbon might be our downfall. We might need to go off planet to get that. Mildly frustrating. I don't know what the torch is. Do you have even a torch in this game? I know that they exist in general, but I don't know that it exists... Or do they exist in general? Am I making that up now? I thought I remembered it, but maybe I'm remembering wrong. Well, that's what's... Oh, no, that's not anything. And carbon doesn't show up on the scanner, does it? Because it's such a common material. Why would it? There's a bunch more gold down here, which I guess is the other side of that one from I did up there. Can we run through it? Is there stuff on the other side? There is. But not, I suspect, the carbon that I need. So, I think I might have to leave that there. And like I say, I was hoping that I would get to do a bit more, get to the space station and show you that, and then we can get the teleporter up. Because essentially, I'm not sure how it's going to work when I get to the multiplayer, so I'll run you through how it goes. So you build... What is it we're actually trying to build here? Habitation, programming, initialization. I got stung by something then. Bloody dickweeds. So you build a teleport device, which looks like a smaller version of that, really. You craft a generator, which uses carbon to power it, and you connect them up with some electrical wiring. To do that, oh yes, we're crafting the blueprint device, aren't we? The blueprint device. The blueprint device, I don't know if there's any around. I didn't see any come up on the... Let's have a look. There are buried technologies around, but I don't know if we'll have any on this planet. There's certainly nothing I can see nearby. It's just resources. So we might need to go elsewhere for the buried technologies. And so essentially you locate where they are using this. You go and find it, and then you dig down to it through the terrain manipulator. How weird does that look? How weird is that? And then you harvest it from like buried boxes or ships, whatever it happens to be. And then you can use that buried technology to unlock other blueprints in the blueprint machine. So there's like the wooden tree. What is this? Is so cool. There's like the wooden tree, which is this. There's a concrete one. You can unlock other technologies as well, other deployable stuff like this. So yes, that is what I was hoping to do, but we've obviously run out of time quite significantly. So I'm going to leave that there. As I said, tomorrow I am very much hoping to play a little bit with Andy and Indy in multiplayer and see how that works and see how... And that's another reason I wanted to do this as well, because I wanted to see how the performance changed with the patches and the updates and the Steam VR beta. See how the performance changed once you get into multiplayer. So a multiplayer compared to my first video isn't necessarily fair because it has changed quite significantly, whereas this compared to the multiplayer video will be a lot more of a fair comparison. So it'll be interesting to see how that works and just how the multiplayer works at all, because I've never seen multiplayer No Man's Sky. I have no idea what it consists of. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, hope you've liked this little look at No Man's Sky. If you have, please do click the like button. That's massively appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, of course. Do look out for that video, for that multiplayer session from me, Indy, and Andy, which, as I say, should be out hopefully very soon after this. Where did I get to? I don't know. Did I do the subscribe? Did I do the comments? Leave your comments down below if I haven't said that already, or even if I have said it already, leave them down below. Where else would you put them? On a postcard? That's just not very efficient these days, is it? Don't forget I do stream Wednesdays at 6 PM and I'd just love to see you there. Otherwise, I will see you next time in No Man's Sky for the multiplayer session, and I'm just going to go and save the game. If you're new to No Man's Sky and you've got all this way and you haven't really sussed out how saving works, so there are these. There's probably, see that little sort of silver flag down there. If you activate that, that will act as a save beacon. But if there aren't any of those around and you need to save the game, going into your ship doesn't save the game, but leaving your ship, restore point saved, leaving your ship, exiting your ship saves the game for you. So that's a handy little tip. If you need to save the game at any point, going into your ship and out again saves it for you. So there you go. You're welcome. Where did I get to? I don't know. Streaming, like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to count my fingers, but I don't have fingers because it doesn't have the index support, which is a bit of a shame. Hopefully that'll come soon. I'd love to see index support in the game. Anyway, I digress. I'll hopefully see you next time, and as always, thank you very much for joining me.